Today's meditation comes from 1 Samuel chapter 8. When Samuel was very bold, he appointed his two sons as judges over the Israelites. While they were doing judges over Israelites, they were taking the bribes, they were doing a dishonest, and they were not walking according to the God's will. They're entirely different than the character of the prophet Samuel. The elders of Israelites, they were not happy. And they went to the place called Ramah and they met prophet Samuel. And they explained what was happening it. And they requested, we wanted to have the king like other nations. The prophet Samuel asked, why do we need a king? Our God is there, who was leading, who is guiding us all the while. Why do you need a king? But he was displeased with the words of elders of Israelites. But anyway, the prophet Samuel, they prayed to the God. When he prayed to the God spoke to him. They are not rejecting you, but they are rejecting me. They should remember, I brought their forefathers from the Egypt. I have given 40 long years what is the required. I given the promised land. So why they needed the king? I am very upset. I may not ruin the Israelites. But the prophet Samuel pleaded on behalf of Israelites. Finally, the God told, tell the Israelites the character or behavior of the king. The prophet Samuel, he spoke with the elders of Israelites. If we appoint the king, your sons has to run before the chariot. Some of your sons have to carry the swords of king. And some of your children has to be the leaders of 50s, 100s. And some of your children have to work in his vineyard. The girls are going to be like perfumers for the king. They will be the baker and they will be the cook. And whatever the best thing he have it, he is going to take the 10%. So why do we need the king? This is what he explained. But they have their own way to give the answers to the prophet Samuel. And they told to the prophet Samuel, if we have the king like other nations, whenever the war comes, he is going to lead us in the front. And whenever we do something wrong, he will be there as to judge. And he is going to guide us. We wanted the king. Now, my dear believers, here we need to learn various important lessons. So that is the day the God appointed the king over the Israelites. We know that the early days of the life of King Saul, he was a faithful. Then later on he became the wicked person. And like that in the Bible we can see as there are the good kings and there are the bad kings. As the days goes, the children of Israelites also they have given the priority to the earthly king. So they were forgetting the living God. They were forgetting the King of Kings. The same thing in these days also we are following it. While looking at the heathen people, while looking at the heathen culture, as we are the believers, we are trying to follow them. We are trying to imitate them. My dear believers, if you are giving the priority for the earthly king, we lose the salvation. If we give the priority for the King of the Kings, the Lord is going to guide. The Lord is going to lead our lives. Psalms chapter 32 verse 8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye. The God is promising. He is going to instruct you. He is going to teach you. He is going to guide you. But we keep the priority for the King of Kings. When we keep the priority for our earthly king, the God may not going to guide us. When we keep our first priority for the King of Kings, the Lord is going to guide us. Anything, any problems, any difficulties, the first submit, consult with our Heavenly Father. Then after that he can meet the earthly king or earthly activities, so that the God will guide us. So my dear believers, God has given us the freedom of choice. We need to decide. We have to give the priority for the King or King of Kings. May God bless all of you.